Hi, I'm Julia, and I want to tell you about something cool my mom made. It's called Marketing 360. It's a full review of your business customer journey and marketing stuff like your website, emails, and social media. She finds what's not working and gives you a plan to fix it so you can get more of the right clients. If you want to know when it launches, text Be Weird to 55444. That's BEWEIRD to 55444. You're gonna look, I know, because my mom is really smart.
Hey, do you remember the movie called Family Man? It had Nicolas Cage in it, and he played, I mean, honestly, he was a jerk. Like, he was super successful in his work. He lived in like the penthouse of an apartment building. Like, he had everything you could imagine because he was just very successful at what he did as his profession. Um, and then, like, overnight, one day he wakes up and he gets the chance to see what it would be like if he would have stayed with his high school. I can't remember if it was high school or college sweetheart. It was Taya Leone. And so he got to see what his life would be like if he would have married her and had kids. And, like the whole first part of it is him being like, how is this my life? So I loved that movie because I love this. I love do-overs, right? This idea that we always have the chance to start fresh or to see the road not taken kind of thing. And that's why I loved the movie. And I feel like just like every new year gives us that same opportunity, to kind of look at our life from a higher view and see where we want to go and get energized by our dreams and thoughts of what could be for the year. I love that New Year's energy. And I think it comes back around not just at New Year's, but also in September. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, how we can make the most of this September energy in our businesses. So let's dig in. Hey there, creative business owners. Welcome to the Higher Purpose Marketing Strategy Podcast. I'm Ashley Conway, and for over 20 years, I've been helping creative businesses as a marketing expert and copywriter. If you've ever felt like your branding or marketing is holding back your business's growth, and you're over being on the DIY hamster wheel, you're in the right place. Each week, I'll walk you through simple, story-filled strategies to build a harmonious marketing system that attracts your ideal high-paying clients without the overwhelm. Ready to make marketing work for you? Let's go. So September, what am I talking about with this like New Year energy, right? It really is called, some people call it the second New Year. And I think it's because of this, if you have kids, if you're a mom, your kids are going back to school, you're getting back into this new routine that's like really structured, and you may have after school activities that you're taking your kids to. And it's also the weather starts to change and it starts to get cooler and the leaves start to turn. And so everything around us starts to shift. And I think there's something inside of us, in our minds and in our bodies, that knows that and that feels this fresh start vibe that's everywhere. And I do think there's magic in that. And I think there's an opportunity to apply this to our businesses, because what I have found is that I can go like to all the lengths to make these incredible plans in January about what I want to accomplish for the year and what my, business goals are. And it doesn't take me long to figure out that life's not going to work like that. By the time I get to this point in the year, I can already see that some of those plans have kind of exploded and don't even fit me anymore, really. And that's why I think this time of year is so magical, because we get the opportunity to have a do-over, to look at everything fresh and new, just like we did in January, and say, for these last 4 months of the year, what do I want? What do I want life to look like? What do I want my business to look like? What do I, at the end of the year, December 31st, what do I want to look back on and say, I accomplished this really important thing. I served this many people. I did my best work. And we get a shot to do that now. So, what I'm going to do is to take you all behind the scenes of my process of what I do when it comes to looking at my marketing for the rest of 2025. Because for me, my kids have gone back to school. They're a few days in. And so my whole daily routine looks different. And it's just the ideal time for me to pause and to reflect and to reset and to create a new plan for the remaining 4 months of the year. So this is what I do. Let's dig in. Step one for me is so it's part of a 3-step framework that I came up with. And step one is the audit phase. And I know that sounds so boring. It really does have IRS vibes, which nobody likes. So I like to think about it differently. I think about it more as like, let's get a tune up, kind of for my car. And if you listen to episode 31, I really dug in deep about what that tune up looks like. But let's look at it like you're taking your car in just to give it a tune up, a checkup. So what they are going to do when you take it in to whoever your mechanic is, they're going to do a diagnostic and they're going to, run tests on all your systems to make sure everything is operating like it should. They're going to see, is there an inkling of a problem with anything that we could fix now before it becomes really expensive to fix? Like, head it off now, because I don't want to be replacing big things like transmissions and other car talk that I really don't understand. So that's what they do. And that's what we have the opportunity to do here. Before you make big plans about the rest of the year, like look at where you're starting. And a lot of times we just have an idea of where we are, but we really need to take a deep look and get some objective data to get a really clear picture of where we are. And before we talk about how to do that, my reminder to you and to myself is to be kind. Let's do this for the sake of getting clarity, and let's be curious about where we're at, and let's not come at it from a place of judgment. Listen, I've talked to a lot of business owners this year who are experiencing a really odd year. Like, I have talked to so many business owners who are not getting the participation they usually do in their offers and their groups, their memberships. They're not getting the client leads like they usually do, or if the leads that they're getting in is not who they really want. Some are even questioning, like, do I want to do this at all? And I just want to put that out there and validate that you're not the only one in that position of not really feeling like 2025 is what you wanted it to be and hoped it would be. So we're going to be really kind to ourselves when we review where we're at as business owners. So let's start with this large view of our marketing, because really, if you think about it, your business as a whole has a bunch of big systems that operate to keep it going. So you have like your sales process that runs, and there's large pieces of that, and that all works together, and that's your sales process. The same works with your operations, that those pieces work together, your team, just your processes, your systems, your backend, that all works together. And you have a marketing system too. And that's how we want to look at it. Marketing isn't these little things that we do, like social posts that we create and emails that we send. That's part of it. But overall, it's a much bigger system. So let's look at the system as a whole. Let's zoom out. And the way that I like to do it is I call it a customer journey. So I like to look at it as a kind of a neighborhood, so to speak. And you want your customers to go from house to house to house, just like it was a tour of homes or something, right? You want them to go from houses 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. And that is your whole marketing journey for your customers. So those houses are like, the first little house is going to be your awareness. Like, how are people finding out about you? The market right now, the online world is so noisy, so incredibly noisy. So how are you connecting with people? and letting them get to know you. That's awareness. Then the next step is consideration. How are you taking people who learn about you, those people who are finding out about you, and then we need to build a relationship with them. They, just like you were dating someone, you don't just immediately meet them and you get married. That's what we sometimes expect people to do when they find out about you, make a purchase. And it doesn't work like that, especially now when there is so much noise and there is less trust than before, because people are hesitant to buy if they're not sure that they're going to get their money's worth. So we need to, the consideration, the second house is really important to help them get to know you, to like you, to trust you, for you to like show them your heart, that you really are in it for them and not just to make a buck. This is like a critical phase that so many business owners, without thinking about it, skip, because they want to go from know me to buy. But we really do have to build that relationship in consideration. Then you go to purchase. Like, how is that process of buying from you, booking a call with you, whatever it is, the steps to go through that? Are they really easy to understand? Are you making it like easy for them to give you a yes? Are you giving them all the information they need to give you a yes? That's number 3. And a lot of marketers stop here. But that's not the end of the journey for your customer. So why should it be the end of your marketing? We can't forget about house number 4, which is retention. What happens after they push buy now or book now? Do you tell them what to expect? Do you check in with them along the way to make sure that they're having a good experience? Like, what does it look like after the sale is complete? Is the experience just as good and just as intimate as it was before when you're trying to make the sale? So that's what retention is all about. You're onboarding, the service that you are providing. And then number 5 is all about loyalty. Don't forget to ask for reviews and referrals and to give them special offers as to get them to be repeat customers. This group of people is critical in that they could be your greatest ambassadors. They could be the people who are spreading word about how great it is to work with you and how life-changing that process was. So we want to look at all of those different things and to see under each of those houses, like, are you doing things? Under the consideration house, are you helping people deepen their relationship with you through things like email and social and podcasting and things like that? Are you doing those things, or do you have holes that we need to work on filling? So just this first part of auditing, taking inventory, is going to help you see where you have drop offs, like where the holes are, and probably some quick wins, like things that you could do that would not take a lot of time, resources, money, and could make a big shift in your business. So that is going to be a huge perk to doing just that first part. Then after that, let's go look into the deeper things. Like, let's look now at the individual things you're doing, the posts you're putting out on social, the emails that you're sending. Are you sending like regular emails? Like maybe you're doing a monthly newsletter, but also are you doing something to welcome people onto your email list? Like, however they get on there, if they sign up for a freebie, whatever it is, are you welcoming them and saying, here's your thing, here's a little more about me? Are you kind of, it's kind of like a soft way to onboard them into your list where they start getting regular communications from you. You want to reach out and say, hey, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad I get the opportunity to help you with this thing. So we start looking at all of those individual things. And in my shoes, like what I would be doing is going through your website, my website, whoever it is, and saying, is this accomplishing the goals that I need it to accomplish? Like, as soon as somebody comes in 60 seconds, do they know what I offer, who I offer it for, and what I need them, what I'm trying to get them to do next? So you go through each of those individual things, and then next we're going to go into like the deeper stuff, but that gives you a really good idea of where you're at, and you've approached it without judgment. And that's when we look at the hard data, the analytics. I know that may not be the most fun. If you're a creative, looking at the numbers is never going to be the top of your want to do list. It's not for me either, but it is really helpful to know what I am doing that's working really well, what I should do more of, what I should change. I only know those things by looking at the numbers. So you start with Google Analytics, right? So that gives you a picture of your website. How many people are coming to your homepage? Where are they going after that? Like, what are the next most popular pages that they're going to? And then all of your social media channels also have some kind of a analytics dashboard that you can go to and see the exact same thing. How many people are seeing what you post? How many people are interacting with what you're posting? What type of content is working the best for you? It just allows you to make better decisions if you pull back the curtain and take a look at what's going on behind the scenes. And email is the same way. All of these tools that you're using, they give you some kind of a behind the scenes look so you can dig deeper and see the actual numbers of what's working. You don't have to assume anymore because it will give you the actual numbers. And that is so empowering. So this is step one, this whole audit, taking inventory process, because we don't want to make plans until we have a really good grasp on what's working and what's not. I mean, you're not going to, it's kind of like, I'm not going to go take a road trip to Kentucky, since that's where I'm from. I'm not going to take a road trip to Kentucky without kind of looking at the beginning, like, how far do I need to go? I'm starting in Utah. I'm going to Kentucky. It's this many miles. I'm not going to do them all in the same day because I'm not crazy. So where are we going to stop? And, it's kind of figuring out, I don't know where to make those stops, where to stay overnight until I know, like, this is where I am, this is where I'm going, and this is kind of the route I'm going to take. Then I can make plans about, this is where my stops are going to be and what I'm going to do and the hotels I'm going to stay in. It's the same process for your marketing. So we get to number 2 step, which is we've already audited. Now we're going to architect. We're going to build the plan. And honestly, this is probably the most fun. Is to actually, if you're a creative, you love this part. Like, let's dream of what we could do, want to do type thing. But before you dive into that and start dreaming, brainstorming of all the things you could do in these next 4 months, I think it's really important to hit pause for a couple of reasons. First is to name your season. Like, what is your capacity for these next 4 months? And what are your constraints? So what are the things that could interfere with growing your business in these next few months? Are you moving? That's going to require a lot of your time. And if you have a team, that means you're going to have to lean on them a lot more. Do you have a family member who's going through some kind of a health thing? Is there something going on in your family? Like, here's the example. In August, I knew, like, my girls have started at a new school. They knew absolutely no one. And it is significantly larger than where they went to before, like 3 times as big. I knew it was going to be a huge adjustment for them. And even for me, honestly, getting used to new processes of this school, new pickup and drop offs and all of that. So I knew for these couple of weeks in August, like, I needed to put more of my time and attention on them and not give myself as many hard deadlines in the business. So it's things like that, like, look ahead and see what is coming for the rest of the year. And the second part of that, before you get started planning, is to decide what matters most. And that can be something that depends on a lot of different factors. So maybe your budget, you have a very limited marketing budget. So that's highly going to influence what matters most in this season. Maybe that is what matters most. I have to stay within my marketing budget the rest of the year. So you're going to have to plan out, are you buying courses? Are you getting some kind of help from a coach or an expert? Are you doing ads? Like, that's going to influence what you do. So that's something that can be a major contributor. Maybe you say, now that I know what's working the best, because we just did the audit, Now that I have data that shows what's working the best, I'm going to really focus on that and try to, um, you know, make the make the clients that I bring in for this service even bigger, because I know it's already working. If I just put more energy and effort toward it, I think I can bring in even more people. Maybe that's the tack that you want to take. I think just before you start the actual planning, ask yourself, do I want my focus to be for these next few months? Now that I have all of this data and I've seen all of these things, where do I want to put my time and energy? Maybe once you see that customer journey, that big, all of those houses, you see, oh my gosh, I've got some holes. Like I'm doing a lot to get people to find out about me. And I really feel like my sales process is really good. Like I'm making it easy for people to say yes, but I'm not doing enough to kind of build relationships with the people on my email list or the people that follow me on social or whatever it is. Like you're thinking, I need to do more there to build it up. So maybe you decide to do it that way. Like whatever is your weakest spot, you're going to pour your energy into. Or maybe it's just, that my business goal is that I have to bring more leads. I need more calls. I need more discovery calls. So you're going to really work on those first two pieces, the awareness, getting people to know you and getting them to take the next step with you in consideration. So all of this plan needs to tie in and just be, it really needs to partner with your business goals for the rest of the year. And you know what that is. Is it a revenue number? Is it a clients you've served number? Whatever that is, your marketing needs to sync up to that. So then after you do all of that, all of those questions that you ask yourself, let's start to plan and start it with, if I can only accomplish one thing, what do I want that one thing to be? So that I can look back on the year and say, but I accomplished this most important thing in the last part. So I have, I feel very good about that. You're probably going to get to do more, but we want to make sure the most important thing happens. So you build the plan from there. You look at that customer journey and you figure out this, I need to really take another look at my website, or I need to have a better, journey that I'm taking people on once they join my email list. Like I need to not just be sending things to send them, but to have purpose behind it. Whatever that is, you take that focus and that goal, and then you build a plan around it. Like if I need a new website, where does that start? Break it down into really small tasks, or this is going to get overwhelming quick. And that's overwhelm just turns into like paralysis. So I know I need a better website. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like. I need to have somebody go through my site and audit it and tell me, like, these are the things that you need to change. Then I need to identify who are the people who can help me with that. Do I need a copywriter to come on for this? Do I need a web designer? Probably. Don't design your own website because that's just a headache waiting to happen. So you identify, who do you need to come on board? Like, what does the timeline need to be? Do you have the budget now to put into either the writing or the design, or do you need to stagger some of that out? Like, start putting some of those together and get the wheels turning. And you build your plan from there. And then the third step of the plan, audit, architect, and then act. So you're going to put that plan into place with a few, let's say, guardrails. So number one, like I said, things can get really overwhelming and you need momentum. So the first thing you're going to do in that first step of audit, when we said you can probably identify some gaps, some weaknesses that you have right off the bat, and some things that you could do to just some quick wins. Maybe it's like, if I just change the way the subject lines that I use in my emails, that would probably help with my open rates. Or what if I did like a 2 email for when somebody's coming new onto my list? I just do 2 emails that are like, welcome, this is how I can help you. And then one's like getting to know you kind of thing. What if it's just 2 emails to get people to get to know you, to warm them up a little bit before they start receiving like your regular newsletters? So just some really easy things that you could probably take a day or less to put into practice that would make a difference. Start there, because seeing that little bump in response and that success will get the momentum going. And then you will be more excited about working on the bigger things. So start with the quick wins. Number 2 is to measure everything you do because you won't know. It's going to feel sometimes like things are happening too slow, like it's a waste of time, things are not working. The only thing that you can do to combat those thoughts is if you track, if you measure what you're doing. So, and only track it against one goal. The analogy that I use all the time is for your homepage on your website. There are so many businesses out there that want to promote on their homepage, sign up for my free thing, follow me on this social platform, and click here to book a call. That is so confusing for a visitor coming there to your page because you're giving them so many things to do. Let's try to narrow that down at least to one primary goal. So maybe your homepage is, I just want to get them to book a call. So you can still have a little icon on there that sends them to Instagram. You can still have a bar across the top that said, this is my free thing that you can get by signing up. But the buttons all throughout the page, you want them to say, book a call, and you want them to say the exact same thing because we want to be clear over trying to be clever or entertaining or cute. So book a call, next button, book a call, book a call. We're reinforcing for them, this is the next step that we want you to take. And this is the most important thing that we're going to measure this page by. So as you make improvements to that homepage, you always measure against how many people are clicking book a call. And whatever changes you're making, tweak here, tweak there, you want that number to keep going up. Who cares about the other numbers? Because you've decided that the homepage, the most important thing is for people to book a call. So that's what I mean against measuring against one clear goal on everything that you do. And then the third tip under here, as you start to really execute your plan, is to try to keep this fresh energy going. So every week, schedule a 15-minute check-in with yourself or with your team to just hold everyone accountable to what they're doing, what they're working on for that particular week, and to just keep the momentum alive and going and keep everyone excited about it. So it's not one of those things because like most things in life, there is no quick fix. There's no magic pill that if you do this, you'll go viral and you'll explode with great leads of your perfect fit client. That's not a thing. It is a longer term game. It's a long game. So you have to keep yourself in it. And if marketing's not something you enjoy, that's going to be hard. So you have to find ways to hold yourself accountable, to make it fun, whatever you have to do to stick with it for the long haul. It really is making a commitment to yourself and to your business to stay the course. So let's just review. Number 1, September is here and it's the perfect opportunity for a do-over. Think about it as, you get a fresh start. Don't wait till January. That's not necessary. You never have to wait for a January, a new month, a new week, a Monday morning. You can start fresh and take a fresh look at your business today. And that includes a fresh look at your marketing. The framework that you're going to want to use is audit where you are now, architect your plan, and then 3, act on that plan and make sure you have good ways to track how you're doing in place. Because the whole purpose that we're doing with this is just to bring clarity around where we are, where we want to go in these next 4 months. Clarity leads to action that leads to results. And I know these are all big things. This is not something you can create. You can't audit where you're at and create a plan and start executing it in a week's time. That's probably going to be too much. But I can help take the audit piece off of your plate. That's what I've been doing with creating this Marketing 360 program. And I'm creating it as we kind of go thing. But what I do is to do all of the things I talked about in that first step, to look at your overall marketing system and see, do you have all the pieces of the puzzle? Are they all working? Are there things, and you will have, I'm not going to come in there and tell you all the things you did wrong. There are things that you're doing that are working great. And bravo, praise for that. And I want to point those out. And I also want to point out, I'm not sure these things are working, or here are some things that you're missing. And that's the point of that whole thing. And then taking it to the next level, which is I'm going to go through and do a video audit of your website, of your social, of your email to say, this looks great. This we can tweak and improve. And then the next level is looking at the back end in your business, your Google Analytics, your social analytics, all of these things, and pulling out for you, like, yeah, this is what the numbers said. Like, you don't have to interpret all these numbers. I'm going to do it for you and show you these are things are performing really well. Do more reels, do more whatever it is. Your emails look great and people are opening them. So let's drive the people opening all of your emails to go to the next level with you. Those are the things that I can help you with. Because I am creating this program right now, I'm going to be offering it at an introductory rate that it would not be financially smart to offer ongoing. So I'm going to have a limited number. You want to be on this list to be the first notified. All you have to do is text BEWEIRD, BEWEIRD to 55444. That will get you on the list so you can get one of these very limited spots. I hope this conversation has been helpful today. And honestly, I hope it gives you hope that no matter what 2025 has looked like so far for you, this is a new opportunity to say, I feel this shift kind of in the air in my environment that September is marking a fresh start. And I'm going to take a fresh set of eyes to look at my business and to recharge and to go out swinging the rest of this year. That is totally possible. So have hope and use this framework to get you there for your marketing. And please, if you're doing this process and you have any questions, DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn. I would be happy to support you and help you. Thanks so much, and I look forward to chatting next week.
Thanks for listening to today's show. For all things podcast, including transcripts, extra resources, and a place to submit questions for the show, visit higherpurposemarketingstrategy.com. I'd also love for you to do me 2 quick favors. 1, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and 2, share this episode with your colleagues. And that's a wrap. Meet you back here next week.